Welcome to the Behind Them Sticks podcast. Welcome to the Behind Them Sticks podcast, brought to you by TSWS Gaming.
Come and talk to me, Lennard Ray. That's
Come
your
on.
name. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type, but baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you, if you could play it. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Look, see, we vibing and you know it's true. Baby, what it do? Do for me and I'ma do for you. No doubt about it, Boosie, I'm a Midwest king, looking for myself a queen. Ready to chase a dream with a dope self-esteem. You find it in all I know, and that's for real. You get to shaking that ass on the floor, and I see what's real. No disrespect, I just tell it like it is. Do you ever want some kids? What your ultimate goals? Maybe I can help with those. The mo was broke when he made you a blessing. You looking like a whole buffet, and I need some seconds. You say you had promiscuous ways, that was back in the day. I'll be alive, I say I did it, that shit was a phase. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type, but baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you, if you could play it. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Lady, you so far ahead of these others, just like a ship on the horizon. Picking up on your vibe, signal stronger than Verizon. All the thoughts that I've been contemplating, ain't no time for faking or debating. You the one, ain't no mistaking. Look, I see you swag different. Always carry yourself like you ready, you know the mission. I had to know you, I'm tempted. I can see why you timid. Hold up now, baby, listen. Just take that dance with me, I can show you that there's a difference. I'm locked in. I throw away my playaways because you pop in. A shooter always shoot a shot. With you by my side, I guarantee we'll reach the top. I put that on God and them, I give you all that I got. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type, but baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you, if you could play it. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me.
All right. We are here now. Welcome to the Talk Story podcast. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome to Behind Them Sticks with your boy, Ham Solo 05 Gaming. I'm with a special guest today from the Talk Story podcast, SpeedAngel 808. We've had a little bit of history talking. I've been watching his streams every now and again. Played a little bit of Elden Ring with him back when it came out. Really cool dude. But anyways, brother, how you doing today? Just wanted to throw in that introduction.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm actually off today, so that was perfect. But can't complain. Sunny day today. It was raining a little bit earlier, but nothing but fresh air and good day hanging out with Ham Solo. Thank you for having me on your show. But I'm excited. I'm excited to be here, and I'm honored to be part of the show. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm more than happy to have any of you guys on Talk Story. You guys are really fun to hang out with, a positive crew. You guys always have good things to say, for the most part. Unless you're talking to Too Big about my Giants. For some reason, he always has something negative to say about my Giants. But, you know, fuck them Eagles. That's how I live. It is what it is. Anyways, going beyond the slander, let's go on ahead and get your like social information, like social media information, not obviously not social security information, social media information, and like what platforms that you play on, so you can just let everybody know. So just go on ahead and let everybody know what social media and gaming platforms that you're on, so they can either connect with you or holler at you on Twitter or something like that.
Sweet. Yeah. So the most platform I'm on is Instagram, which is it used to be under SpeedAngel 808, but however, that one unfortunately got hacked, and I no longer have that one. So now it's under JJ Alonso. So you can find me on Instagram. I do have a Twitter, and I play around with Twitter, which that's under SpeedAngel 808. But that is mostly to conversate with like you guys, Ham Solo, the Talk Story podcast, but it's mostly Instagram. And then, of course, you can find me on Xbox under SpeedAngel 808. I'm always on there. I'm always ready to play and, connect with new people. So,
Yeah, don't forget to tell them where they can find you on OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know. Ham Solo knows that. He's my only subscriber on that.
Oh, you stop that.
That's how he knows what that
But
is.
anyways, what's up to the chat as well? Looking good so far. We got Sensei in the chat, too big as usual. Stank Ma as usual. Really good to see you guys. If you're new to the podcast, make sure you hit that like button, support. I really appreciate that a whole lot. I'm trying to get this as big as I possibly can so I can continue to have wild guests every now and again, and then also the bigger I get, the more opportunity I have to get big time name guests and stuff like that. So let's keep this going, keep it positive, keep it cool, and just have our fun little discourse or arguments and whatnot. I definitely like to have arguments with people just for fun, keeping it gaming, keep it nice and easy. And but it is extra hard arguing with these Talk Story fools over here because they all so positive and shit. It's just hard to do that damn thing. But this show isn't all about arguing. It's also about just having a good time with your boys, or your girls. But anyways, let's go on ahead and get into some of the questions. Like, brother, let me know, what have you been up to? What have you been playing as of lately?
So lately, of course, everybody knows on Twitch when I stream under SpeedAngel 808, I play Fortnite most of the time with my squad. That's why I play Fortnite. I play Fortnite, Knockout City, but when I do solo games, I really do love the Assassin's Creed franchise. I play those. I do play Smite. Sensei knows we play that a lot as well. We've played that lately. Yes,
Smite's actually pretty cool. I used to play Smite. I was always, I think the character's name is Ymir.
Ymir, yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people call that the trolling god because my friend Deathmatch, we play together. When I'm about to fight somebody, I don't know what's his problem, but he always puts up a wall in front of me, and then I get stuck, and then I eventually die because, he's just a jerk. I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that wall was there. I was like, thanks. I hate when you play your mirror because that always happens, and I should see that coming, but I never do, and I get killed because of him.
Well, that's my boy because he's disrespectful, and those are the kind of characters I like to be in video games, the disrespectful ones. But anyways, Blind Giant, what's up? Charlie Hustle, good to see you up in here, y'all. As of what I've been playing lately, I just finished Spec Ops: The Line last night. I stayed up until like 3:30 in the morning playing that joint. It was just like it was captivating, man. It was just insane. The story was just fucked up. Like I don't want to give away too much, but like the people that you find out that you kill or that you put in harm's way, I mean, you end up just taking a large load of the issue. I mean, like mostly everything, it seems to be your fault. But going ahead, I highly recommend you play that, or anybody that's watching play that. It is a backwards compatible game that's able to be played on your Xbox Series consoles. If
Sweet.
you buy it digitally, you can play it digitally on your Series S or Series X, and if you have the hard copy, you can throw it on in the Xbox Series X only. But anyways, yeah, super dope stuff. But anyways, we were talking a little bit before the show had started about like what was your first console that you ever had, and you revealed your age just a little bit when you told me. You said the first console that you and I believe your brother, right? You said.
Yes, my
Yeah,
brother.
yeah. Y'all had was N64. Is that right?
Yes, yes, that was our first console. To be honest, that's like one of my still one of my favorite consoles. I actually have one back at home on Kauai, so but it's there. I don't want to give it up, even though like a lot of the new TVs you can't really hook it up anymore. But hey, that's just a good memory. I keep it there, you know. So yes, Nintendo 64 was my first ever console that I got.
Okay. Now, when you got that console, was it in the box, or did you like I'm alive and I woke up and looked over and the console was already here because my family members passed it down or something like that?
No, it was definitely boxed up. Yeah, my
Oh,
family members got it for us because uh, I don't know when it was. I don't know if it was Christmas or stuff, but we really wanted a game system. I think at that time, like the PlayStation was coming out, but expensive, right? But they're like, "Hey, we got your Nintendo 64." I didn't mind it. My brother didn't mind it as long as we had something to do. That was like our bonding time when we were little, stuff like that. Because our parents were busy. Hey, playing that thing was the greatest. After going to school, trying to wind down, I enjoyed it.
I think if I remember right, I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure that the console was cheaper on the Nintendo side than PlayStation, but the games for 64 were more expensive than the
Yes,
PlayStation games.
yes, yeah,
Because I know for sure that games were like 65 $70
yeah.
for a cartridge back then. But enough about me. Like, tell me about like your experience when you first got into gaming. Like, what was the games that you were playing?
So the games that I played, like a solo game, like this was my first game. I absolutely still love it. I think it's still my favorite game out of all time. Is Donkey Kong 64. Um, when you're Donkey Kong, and then I forget what the name of the enemy was, but it was the King Crocodile guy, and
Yep.
he ends up kidnapping like all your siblings got kidnapped, and you have to go out. You wake up as Donkey Kong and realize, oh, my siblings are gone, and you go out throughout different maps and try to save your uh, your family. Which the first one was Diddy Kong, and I absolutely love that game. And then that's where you mostly see Donkey Kong's like uh, family, because nowadays you don't know their family. They're not really mentioned anymore. I think the only one that's kind of popular is Diddy Kong, right? But yes, my very first game, my favorite game is Donkey Kong. I absolutely loved it. Me and my brother would share it. Sometimes we would fight because none of us want to give it up. And you're on a roll, killing bad guys or in the game. But yes, it was Donkey Kong 64, and I absolutely loved that game. If I still had the Nintendo 64, I'd still be playing that game.
Okay. I mean, so you what y'all have that money or something, man? Because you had the expansion pack. Obviously, if you were playing Donkey Kong game on there,
Yeah.
y'all had the expansion pack, so y'all were living, living large and in charge.
I I don't know if we like. I guess we were just gifted that. Like my family was like, "Here, have this game," because we didn't always have multiple like how we have now. Like, oh, let's play this game. Let's play this game. We were playing Donkey Kong for a while because that's one of the fewest games that we had. You know, but I don't know. For some reason, even if we ended up beating the game, it never got old for us. We just kept playing it, You know, it's like we knew what to do. You know, because that was like one of the few games where we had to switch to a different character to get in a certain area. You know, like you have to go back through, like, say, Diddy Kong's map. You couldn't get to certain areas because you needed a certain character. So I think that was one of the coolest parts. Like, oh, how come we can't get in here? Oh, we have to save this person in order to get to this side of the map. It was fun. I enjoyed it. You know.
See, Stankmon knows what I'm talking about because I mean, when I was a kid back in that time, yeah, like if you had that expansion pack, your family had that bread, they had that cake.
I guess they saved up for it. We, we weren't that rich, so I guess they saved up for us. You know, we really wanted a game to play, a console to play. So hey, we were blessed to have that. It was fun.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. So continue on with the 64. What other games were like highlights for you during that time period?
Highlights.
I want you to do your best to get as off course as possible with some of the highlights. So, like, if you, I mean, a lot of people's highlights were like GoldenEye, like Mario 64. But did you have any weird game that you really liked? Like, were you a Superman fan? Did you enjoy that horrible game? Or did you, or like, is there any like weird game that you really got into that you wouldn't have thought?
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure. I don't necessarily know the name of the game because it was kind of like an off-wall game. I don't think anybody really knows it. But me and my brother used to play like this car derby game. But the kicker is you can attach like machine guns and rockets to, like, you can have a full-on bus to
Vigilante
upgrade.
8. Vigilante 8.
Yeah, I think so. But it was good fun. Like, it was a derby game. You know, you hit cars. Me and my brother used to play multiplayer for that. But like attaching machine guns, rockets, anything you can name them, you can attach those attachments to your car just to make it better. And that was one of the fun games that I enjoyed playing with my brother. Because I guess when you grow up with siblings, you mostly play like split screen, hey, don't cheat, cover the screen, don't look at my screen type of games, So yeah, that was one of the highlights of me playing. And like, not Mario Kart racing, but there's also called Diddy Kong Racing or something that we used to play that.
I own that.
Yeah,
that's a fantastic game. You have the boats, you have the plane, and then you have the cars. And I honestly, when I was young, I mean, I understood the craze of Mario Kart and how nice and easy it was to kind of get in and play with your friends and whatnot. But when I wanted to play like single player, I played Diddy Kong Racing because they had all the crazy different type of races and stuff like that. I honestly thought it was better, in my opinion, but it was just harder to get people to want to group up and play it.
Right. Well, I was blessed to have a sibling, so we used to play that all the time. So we used to have multiplayers. Even friends would come over and play it too. And to be honest, back in the day when we had the 64, I didn't really play Mario Kart. Like, I've heard of it. My friends were like, "Oh, this is really fun. You guys play Diddy Kong," but I mostly played Diddy Kong Racing because I enjoyed that game so much. So.
Bro, I was fucking with Chef's Love Shack.
Yes.
On N64 with all the crazy like South Park characters, and do these mini games and stuff like that. That was a super dope game for me that I played. That was kind of random on 64. But were there any other ones that you can think of off the top of your head, or should we move on?
Trying to think. Not at the top of my head. I think those are the games that me and my brother mostly. To be honest, we didn't have that much games to play. So those were kind of like my highlight games that me and my brother used to enjoy playing. This was our first console, So those were the main ones that I
those
can
were the
remember.
hitters.
Yeah.
Okay,
we did have 007, but out of the box type of stuff. So.
I feel you. So like let's go a little bit more forward then. and tell me about the next experience that you had. Was it the PlayStation 1, 2, Xbox? What was
It was
after?
actually PlayStation 2. So my auntie had a PlayStation 2, and then me and my brother just ended up taking it. Like, not stealing it, but we ended up playing it so much. She's like, here, just have it already. It's like, practically, you guys, it's yours. So we ended up playing that. And one of my favorite games to play on that one was, I don't know if you guys, well, I'm pretty sure everybody heard it, was Sly Cooper.
Oh yeah.
Sly Cooper. Oh yeah, Sly Cooper was one of the games I used to play. Me and my brother used to play. I know it was a single player game, but I really wish that they brought it back. Like, I tried to see if we could play it like in like Xbox and stuff like that, but you cannot. But yeah, that was one of my favorite games to play with Sly Cooper. But my next experience was PlayStation. That's when we played like Call of Duty, get into Call of Duty, some of the games like that, and kind of like looking at your disc, making sure it's not scratched, and if it is scratched, you push it in, pray that it works. So yes, PlayStation 2 was the next console that I had. It was great fun. I enjoyed it.
I remember that stress of
Yes.
just waiting for the menu screen just to kind of slide away.
Yeah.
So it meant your game turned on. Because
Yeah.
because your disc was so goddamn scratched. I remember those times. Dark times.
Yes, because you would forget to put it back into the thing because you're like, okay, let's play the next game. So you just like put it on your console or something or your PlayStation. Then you end up like, oh, I forgot to put it back. You look at it. Where did these scratches come from? I literally just put it there, left it there. Where the heck did all these scratches come from? So, yes.
They happen so random, but once they're there ain't nothing you can really do about it unless
Yeah.
you. I mean, back in the day and still today, you can take them to go get like the CD cleaned or whatnot, but
Yeah.
that's supposed to like damage your disc. Like, you're not supposed to be doing that. Best thing you could do is just try to keep those things safe, but they were super hard to do, especially if you grew a collection. Did you end up getting quite the collection for that, or did you guys only have a couple games?
No, we actually got the quite the collection. We had a couple stacks high of those. Me and my brother always shared rooms, so we didn't have a big room, so they would be like by the TV stacked up high, like a tower. So we had the PlayStation for quite some time.
Okay. Tell me one of your gaming experiences throughout the PlayStation 2 that kind of like altered your perception on gaming.
I think for PlayStation, what altered it was the fighting games, like Tekken, those, because going from Nintendo 64 to PlayStation and just kind of playing like solo games and stuff like that. Fighting games was definitely a challenge because then you have like different combos and stuff like that. And me and my brother really had to like kind of experience that. Never experienced that. So when we got introduced to that, it was like, whoa, this is a whole new ball game to like our gaming experience. Because you see like people doing crazy combos and you're just like, how the heck do you do that? Back then it's just like button smashing, like, let's see if I can do something wild, just pressing random buttons. But yeah, definitely the fighting games were definitely a different experience for our gaming, because we were definitely just introduced to that. I think somebody got us for like our birthdays and stuff like that. We're like, ooh, what is this? Let's try it, So yeah, fighting was definitely a different gaming experience, different gameplay, different feel. So I definitely had to get used to that.
And you got to sit next to the person that you're playing, so you could just talk shit to them the entire time
Yeah.
you're playing.
Yeah, me and my brother are
the experience.
Yeah, me and my brother are super competitive. Grew up with sports, so definitely when we're playing that, our competitive side definitely came out trying to one up each other. So sometimes we would play hours because one person would win, then the next person would win, and we could never get a ground. I'm like, okay, I have to win. The next game I have to win. And then if somebody else's win, they have the same mindset. They're like, no, I have to win. So we'd be playing that forever and ever. So it was good fun. But that was definitely a different change to the experience of gaming for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna skip on down the line a little bit and ask you, did you ever experience like the original Xbox or the 360 during its, time?
I did. So how we got so we had an Xbox 360, and how we ended up getting the Xbox 360 is actually we met a friend online, you know, and he's like, "Hey,
Sounds sketchy.
yeah, well, it's actually cool. I can probably get into that later on. That's probably one of the reasons why I love gaming so much. So
Okay.
we met a friend online, and he's like, "Hey, we're playing Call of Duty and stuff like that." She's like, "Hey, I'm gonna switch over to Xbox 360," and everybody was talking about the Xbox 360, and we're like, "Oh wow," It's like, okay, look, me and my brother kind of saved up for an Xbox. So it's like, okay, let's get an Xbox 360. So my next gaming console was the Xbox 360, and then from there we just stick with the Xbox. Yeah, from Xbox 360, that's when you get into like Halo and Call of Duty, multiplayer. That's when we started to experience those type of games, and from there, that's when multiplayer started happening. And I think our very first multiplayer game was Halo, of course, but it was really Call of Duty World at War. That was our very
Okay, yeah.
first multiplayer field of multiplayer games. So that was the talk shit era. Everybody talking shit on that game. So, but that's when we got into it, because one of our good friends, which is one of our best friends now, that's how we switched over to Xbox 360, and from there, we stick with Xbox from there. So, I
Oh
enjoyed it.
man. See, this is why Sony is sweating right now. I don't know if you heard the recent news that Sony is really pretty nervous about Xbox and them
Yes.
acquiring Activision. And your story kind of right there just kind of let people know why Sony's worried about that, is because I mean, look at what happened with you with the 360 generation. You
Yeah.
figured out, Call of Duty, World at War, and you were just on it. Like, it was cool that Xbox had all these other IPs, but Call of Duty was like the access to multiplayer gaming online. And your average gamer. I mean, you're not an average gamer anymore. But
Yes.
like your casual average, just work and then go home and play. They don't care about Twitter. They don't care about the news or anything like that. Those are the kind of people that Sony is really worried about getting into the Xbox, from them not being able to have it like on a like subscription service or something like that, compared to Xbox, where they can just slap it right on the Game Pass as soon as they own it. So that is totally scary.
I love the game. It's such a great thing.
Yeah, what up, Strictly Gaming? Good to see you, brother. I'm happy that you got to make it here. But anyways, continuing on. So that was your entrance way into Xbox. Did you say you went back and played any PlayStation? Did you end up getting the PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4?
No, I never got it. Was always Xbox. After PlayStation 2, I think that was it. I was always stuck with Xbox. We had an Xbox 360 for a while. Went from the Xbox One, and then now, the new. I don't have the newest Xbox, but I still have the PlayStation X, or PlayStation, I said Xbox X. But yeah, after the PlayStation 2, and after just a lot of my friends having the Xbox, we just got stuck on the Xbox, and I enjoyed it since. I don't regret not getting any of the new PlayStations, even when the PlayStation was like at its prime. I was like, no, I'm gonna stick with Xbox. Half of my friends, or most of my friends,
what made you do that? What made you stick with Xbox when I mean, you're obviously not like oblivious to like PlayStation has some really good games going on over here, right? I mean, with with the PS3, they had like Resistance, they had Killzone, and
Yeah.
I mean, they had fantastic games out on the PS3. PS4, they ended up with, God of War,
Mhm.
Spider-Man. I mean, they had fantastic games on there, but what kept you specifically on the Xbox? Was it just the multiplayer functionality of it that captivated you, or was there something else?
No, it was actually the community. The community got us stuck on the Xbox. So if we go into the story of why I switched to Xbox, so I met friends on like throughout time and stuff like that, and switching over to Xbox. I didn't know these friends like face to face. We've never met, but we have played gaming Xbox for years, and I think that's one of the main reasons why we stuck to Xbox is because the community was so great. I've met so many people on Xbox that I didn't really meet on PlayStation, um, and we ended up becoming great friends. And after years and years, we actually met them in real life, and we're still friends today. Like we actually ended up like, oh, you go to the same high school as me or the same school as me. How did we not know this? And it was I know people are like, oh, multiplayer is great. Multiplayer was great, but having that community and actually having people that you meet online, making the gaming experience great, oh, that was the best part of Xbox. And that's why I still stick with Xbox, because if I didn't really have an Xbox, I probably wouldn't have met like you guys. I'm pretty sure PlayStation would be a totally different gaming experience, but I met half of Talk Story throughout the community of Xbox. So that
Gotcha.
was great. Mm.
As of now, I mean, I'm guessing you don't have a PlayStation right now, is that right?
No, I do not have PlayStation.
Are you looking to get one anytime throughout this generation?
I probably would. People talk about it. They're like, "Oh, you should get one," and I do like. Not, I do like the games. I do like God of War. I would love to play Spider Man. It's just I just don't have a PlayStation. Now, I'm not writing off PlayStation. Man, they came out with great games. And there's some games I was like, damn, I wish I could play it. But yeah, I'm looking into PlayStation. I probably will get a PlayStation, have a PlayStation, for like a solo type of gaming experience. Maybe even Twitch from there, here and there, on solo gaming. But most of my time is Xbox because of the community, and I still love the games on Xbox. So yeah.
All right. So, as of right now, what console are you currently on?
It is Xbox. I don't have the newest Xbox, unfortunately, but I have the Xbox One X. But that's what I mostly play on. That's where I mostly stream everything is from my Xbox. So that is I'm on the Xbox. That's where you find me. That's where if you wanna become friends, that's where you become friends with me. Is the Xbox Live.
Okay, so I got a question for you since you haven't upgraded to the next
Yeah.
generation quite yet. Have you tried any of like the streaming stuff through the One X?
Just Twitch. Just Twitch. I've only we
No,
used
I'm
to
talking about
have.
streaming games. I'm talking about streaming the video games, like
Oh
playing
yes,
a game streamed.
yes, I have. I stream all the time. I streamed yesterday too. So
Like
like
what game?
the last game I was streaming was Fortnite. That's what I stream.
Okay, I
Uh
think you're misinterpreting what I'm asking. So
oh
get so Xbox has like cloud games
oh
that you
yes
can
yes
play, and you know how like if you don't have a Series S or X, you
Mhm.
can still play the game, but you have to play it through the cloud.
Oh yes yes. The only game that I've experienced that I cannot play on that console is the new Narca game. I tried to play that game, and it's like, sorry, but this game is for the Xbox Series X, the new Xbox. But other than that, yes, I've played some of the newer games through the cloud, and I think the cloud is a very good addition to the Xbox for the people who can't afford the new Xbox or can't necessarily uh, um, or who doesn't have the new Xbox yet. But yes, I can play through the cloud some of the games that are for the new Xbox. Of course, it's not like you don't have the specs of the new Xbox or that what you call kind of
You don't
the
have like that
experience.
that
Yeah,
native
that experience.
experience.
Yeah, that experience with it. But for most part, Xbox has really been good on like, hey, if you do have the older Xboxes, you can still play the new games. Of course, you're not going to have the whole experience with it, but I think Xbox has been very good at like, hey, I know we're going to make this for the new console. They have the new specs, but we still are part of the Xbox community. We're going to let the people who have the older generations, they can still play it. And I've been playing those the new games with the Xbox, but the Narca game, that's the only time I've ever experienced not that I could not play that game in the older generation of the Xbox. So
Gotcha.
for
That's
most part,
interesting. That's interesting because I mean, I was wondering if people actually used that.
yes, we
Since
do.
like
Yeah,
they have Xbox Ones and they don't have the Series X, I was wondering if they actually did use that and streamed those games and if it was
yeah,
even worth it.
it is. It is. So if like whoever has the old Xbox, I haven't, like I said, I haven't got stopped or I haven't been like, oh shoot, I can't stream this or ah damn, I can't play this game. It's been very good. I still can still stream it. Like I said, the only game that I've just got stopped was the newest game, Narca. That's the only time I've ever experienced that.
Gotcha. And that's not a first party game, so that makes
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
makes sense. And I do know that Xbox does have some non first party games as well that you
Yeah.
can play through the stream and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. It's a nice gesture, that's for sure.
Yeah.
To be able to play those games 100%. But moving on forward, you are also a content creator via Twitch for the most
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Now you guys are on the Talk Story podcast whenever the hell you guys decide to do a damn podcast.
We're on Hawaiian time.
You guys are on
Hawaiian
Hawaii.
time, we
You,
be
you
there.
guys eat, sleep, and drink Hawaiian time. You guys are just on your own schedule. You do your own
Yeah.
damn thing. You're like, we'll see you guys next time. 2 years later, kind of
Hey,
shit
we're
going
back.
on. Yeah. Did you guys miss us? I know you guys were here for our most recent podcast that was 5 years ago. Y'all need to get on that, man, because it's really fun to watch you guys interact, chat, some of the games that you guys play throughout your podcast. Really interesting stuff, and it's really fun to watch. And it's nice to see you guys grow because you guys, keep getting a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. I didn't know there was that many people in Hawaii, so it kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, right. Small island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So, hey, we're going. We make it happen. Even though we're on Hawaii.
Y'all do. I mean, that Hawaiian time is something else. I call it demons time right there.
Yeah.
This is the Lord's time right here in the center of the United States, Central Time. The Lord's time, Hawaii time is just something else. It's something evil. Because every time it's nighttime and I'm starting to get tired too big. It's like the sun is still out.
Yeah,
You still got sun.
I know. He was telling me like, oh, when he's like, oh, when you're gonna do the stream? I was like, oh, 12. Help Ham Solo out. He's like, really? No, I did that at 11 o'clock at night. I was like, dang, you made him stay up that long? He's like, yeah, we're in Hawaii. The sun's still up. It's like, dang, it was probably just morning for him. He's probably like, I'm tired.
See, all right, I see how too big is. He just likes to work my damn nerves. It is what it is. So, all right, so tell us a little bit about your content, what you've been playing as of lately, what you're playing now, who you play with on stream. Go on ahead and let everybody know.
Yeah, so I stream on Twitch, but I actually started a long time ago. When Twitch, I think I actually started when Twitch, like Xbox got introduced to Twitch and stuff. I was like, oh, what is this? So I actually started that, and I used to play that. I used to stream. Like I used to stream, like it's like, oh, this is good fun. People would watch here and there. I think my fans that used to watch was just my family, you know. But after a while, you know, I think it was maybe a year or two ago. Um, I started hearing again, and then I started playing with people who streamed, like Kai. You know, I was like, "Oh, you're gonna start streaming again?" I was like, "Wow, that's cool." I was like, "I wonder if I still remember like my login for streaming." And from there, I was like, "You know what? I'll give it a shot." You know, Kai was streaming like Fortnite and stuff like that. I was like, "You know, I'll give it a shot again. Let's see." So I actually figured out my login and stuff like that. I was like, "Ooh, welcome back." I was like, "Oh, thanks." And I see all the upgrades and all that. I was like, "Okay, let me just try." And from there, and then I started like people started watching stuff. I ended up enjoying it. I was like, "Wow." You know, I never knew how big the community was. Like you see it on YouTube and stuff, you see Twitch here and there, but I didn't know how big the community was. And then from there, you know, I started meeting like two big guys and all like that. And I was like, wow, I actually enjoy making content. I'm not that big, you know, I'm fairly new. I'm still looking for emotes and stuff like that. But the people, like the laughs and stuff, too big, like making my friends freak out because I have like this mode that everybody hates. It's called sing mode, and Too Big loves putting that on, and my friends like Kai and everything, they absolutely hate it because I sing obnoxiously. And but it gives everybody a laugh, and I think that's the most important thing. I don't stream to become big. I stream just to like bring joy and laughter. That's why I stream. Um, so I don't mind if like I have 3 to 4 people watching, but I started on Twitch and just having that community. Like I'm really big on community and just having like Too Big, Blind, Sensei, you know, come in, like my sister guys come in and just laughing, uh, arguing with me. I love it. That's why I stream because
Yeah.
people just.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
go
why.
on there all the time and say dumb shit. I mean,
Yeah.
that's my favorite thing to do when I hop into
Yeah.
somebody's stream is just say dumb stuff. And you know, if I know the person that's streaming, I get on. I try to just say things that will get them to talk.
Yes. Yes. But that's
Sometimes it's
not bad.
weird.
Yeah, yes, it is. But I love it. That's why people watch, anyways. And like people like will grumble, but they'll still stay and watch. It's like, hey, we know you secretly love this content, so I'm just gonna keep streaming.
Absolutely. So, so what games are you looking forward to streaming that haven't quite came out yet? Is there anything that caught your eye, or you just not really paying any attention as of right now? What's been going on?
So right as of right now, I haven't necessarily been paying attention to the new games. Lately, I just been streaming the old games. I was gonna stream like older games like XCOM. I really like real life strategy games, so I was like, hey, you know what? I might just stream like XCOM 2. Just like having those old games because I know when those new games come out, people will like stream it, and a lot of people will stream those same games over and over again. So I kind of like to stream like off the wall games, like Smite. I stream with Sensei sometimes. It's Smite. Not too many people play that game. Not too many people stream that game. So I stream it. And I get people like, "Oh, Smite? Oh, that's an unusual game to stream." It's like, "Hey, I love it." I get that a lot. Like, "Oh, you're playing Smite?" I was like, "Yeah, I love Smite." Oh, okay, cool. And they end up watching it and stuff like that. So that's like that's what games I usually play. So right now, I haven't really looked into the newer games that's coming out. I do want to stream the new multiverse one. Uh,
That game is
but
fun.
yeah, I haven't
That game is real fun.
I haven't gotten to it yet, but I do want to stream that game. So yeah.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, Multiverse game out right now for beta from
Yeah.
WB Games. If you go to their website, you can click the link for whichever console, or if you play on PC, you can click on that. it'll ask you to sign in with your like account information. If you want to make an account, it's really simple. It just pretty much asks you to verify it via your email. But from there, you can just click on the console that you're using, and like
Yes.
for me personally, I clicked on the Xbox version, and it just started downloading on my Xbox just like that. And
Yes.
it's a really small game too. It's only like 5 gigs, 6 gigs.
Yeah. It was
So
pretty
not
fast.
yeah, not too long of a download, and the game is just like a Super Smash Brothers clone, except with WB characters. So
Yes.
Bugs Bunny, you got your DC superheroes and stuff like that.
Shaggy.
Yep, you got your mystery machine mates all up in the
Yeah.
game. I had to lay the smack down on I believe it was I almost said Bulma. Velma.
Elma.
On Velma, not Bulma. I'd like to lay hands on her, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But anyways, so yeah, that's a game that you could say that you're looking forward
Yeah.
to playing. But I'm trying to think. Have you seen anything about that like new Ubisoft game? Anybody in the chat remind me of the game if you guys remember it, but it's like a boat game. Or were
Okay.
you ever into like Sea of Thieves or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I love C. I used to stream that a long time ago. It's just trying to find people to play with. I can play it by myself, but yeah, I play Ubisoft games. I stream here and there. Rainbow Six Siege. I used to love playing that game. At one point in time, me and my friends were actually wanted to go pro league with Rainbow Six Siege, but unfortunately, at a certain time, they ended up taking Xbox out of the Rainbow Six Siege like competitions and stuff, and that kind of crushed our spirits. So we're just like, wow, okay, never mind then. But yeah, because we wanted to play, but yeah, we used to play Rainbow Six Siege a lot, but and Sea of Thieves too. But you know how that went. Like new games came out at the same time, so people would jump back and forth, and then they get stuck on the new games and not go back to Sea of Thieves. But yeah, I love Sea of Thieves. It was a great game.
Yeah, Ubisoft is coming out with some game where like you're mainly on boat doing like boat fights and stuff like that. And
Oh,
like I don't remember what the game is called exactly, but I mean it looks interesting, but it doesn't look like something that I'm like dying to pick up because
yeah,
because if I don't know if they're gonna like put it in like their service because I know Ubisoft has a service, but to
yes,
me, I'm a little nervous for this Ubisoft game because we already do have a Sea of Thieves game
yeah,
that a lot of people enjoy. This
Mhm.
is like more of a realistic one, but I know a lot of people are standoffish with Ubisoft because it tends to be a whole lot of map and a whole lot of just
yeah,
like ticky tacky quests to do
yeah,
and stuff like
yes,
that. So I'm interested to see how it comes along and how it could possibly, I
yeah,
doubt it, but possibly tear into the Sea of Thieves.
yes.
Um, you
Very
know,
nice. It can surprise you. A
players.
lot of games do that. Like people are like stand off it first, and then you're just like, oh, all right, cool. This actually is not a bad game.
Yeah, I mean it's easy to be standoffish. People were standoffish at first when they, had to download games to their console compared to
Yeah,
just throwing the disc in and having to, have internet connected and DRM. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can complain about, and some rightly so. Like some of that DRM stuff is definitely something that is appropriate to complain about. But what I'm more or less trying to say is like there's always something to complain about.
of course.
You more or less just have to let time tell you if it's good or bad,
Yes.
and not just put so much weight or thought or time into,
Yes.
as soon as it gets announced, freak out. Like, calm down,
Yes.
see if it's
Which a lot
something
of
that
people,
actually sucks.
yeah, a lot of people end up jumping the gun and freaking out, and then they realize, oh, I just looked stupid. This game is actually really good.
I know the newest big thing that people hate right now is NFTs in video games.
Ah, okay.
And I'm a little interested to see how that's gonna pan out. I know Doctor Disrespect has his game that he said
Yeah.
was gonna put Call of Duty to shame,
Yeah,
which
I
I
heard that
just
too.
I
I
don't
was
think
like,
so, but
I don't think.
I don't think so. But I know that he has he has NFTs in his game and whatnot that he's making as of right now. So I'm interested to see how that pans out, how that turns out. And I mean, he has a big following of people
Yes.
that will just when you got people that fuck with you, they fuck with you unconditionally,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So they will, his people will let everybody know how that game really is. Because he's just going to continue to say it's awesome, it's awesome, it's awesome, but he's branding himself. I can't
Yes.
wait until I see people say, this
It's
game is actually awesome, or this game is ass, and don't believe shit that he says, and I'm subscribing to
yeah.
his shit right now. Because there will be
Yeah.
some people that do that. There will.
Oh yeah.
There's
Of
always
course.
a sad bunch.
And that's always the fun part of watching that, because everybody's anticipating like, okay, let's see how this game is. Okay, let's see how the shit talking is. I feel like a lot of people are excited about the shit talking that's gonna come out when this game comes out.
Is it sad to?
I
I don't know. Maybe it's sad to say, but I'm one of those people that's excited to hear the shit talking because
yeah, me too.
maybe
I am
because
excited.
he lives by his name really well. He is
Yeah,
disrespectful. He is Dr. Disrespect. So I'm
yeah.
wondering how he's gonna endure the
The
disrespect towards
disrespect.
him. Doctor might need
It's
a
just
doctor.
yes. It's just like going like seeing a video and kind of watching the video for a little bit and then going to the comments and seeing the comments. Ah, that's just the best. The comments are usually the best thing out of the whole video. And just seeing the disrespect, the shit talking about the video, it's great.
So Sensei 808 in the chat said that you're also waiting for Rumbleverse.
Oh, Rumbleverse. Yes. 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 I
Talk about
just
that.
realized. So I was watching, I'm pretty sure you know, cartoons.
Mhm.
So cartoons was playing this game called Rumbleverse. It's a battle royale game, but with this game, it's like wrestling. You fight in a city. So there was like power ups and stuff like that. So I was like, I wonder if they have it on Xbox. So I typed in Rumbleverse and I was like, oh, coming soon. And the game really caught my eye because it's not like your basic battle royale shooting game. It's like you can climb buildings, you actually fight people. Like you have power ups and stuff, but it's like you can like drop kick somebody off a building and stuff like that. You have health, and it looked really good. And Cartoons was actually praising like the graphics and stuff, so I got intrigued to it. So yeah, thanks for reminding me, Sensei. Yes, that's one of the games I'm actually looking forward to, and I think it comes out either the ending of this month or next month. I
Oh,
know it's
so
coming out
it's
soon.
on the brink of coming out then.
Yes, yeah. Cartoons had I think there was a Cartoons had like an invitation from the first version when it came out, and then he's like, "Hey, it's back. I get to test it out, and it looks really good. And I'm actually excited for that game to come out because it's unique. It's fighting. It's not like your typical shooting game type of like I'm gonna wait in this corner and see if something comes out or this bush and I'm gonna kill him. Like you literally like you have to face somebody and beat the shit out. So it looks good. I'm excited.
Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. Definitely ping me, let me know.
Yes.
Or just, when you go live, I usually see a notification on my phone. So just,
Yeah.
let a brother know when you playing that game because I'm interested to see what it's like. I always like
Yeah.
to like watch a little bit of somebody else playing something before
Yeah.
I dive into it. It's really rare that I just dive into something just blind as hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I do, but I definitely want to check that one out before I throw it on my console.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely pinging like, hey, I'm gonna play Rumbleverse. So I'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, I'll definitely shoot that out. It looks fun. Cartoons praised it, so and he knows his stuff too. So the graphics looks great when I was watching it. I'm pretty sure they're still working the bugs out, but it looks good. For the most part, it looks really good.
Fantastic. Welcome, Mr. Joanna Dark. Good to see you down there today. But moving forward, so as I said at the beginning of the conversation, you showed your age a little bit when you said the console that you first started out with.
Yes.
Now, obviously there's a long history of gaming. Is there any gaming console that you kind of wish you could go back and just tear through the catalog?
Tear through the catalog. To be honest, if I could tear through the catalogs, because I know it'll probably be cheaper now, it'll probably be the Nintendo 64 games. Just to tear through the certain games that came out. Because, yes, the graphics now is great, but I think just how the games were produced like a long time ago, like during the Nintendo 64 age, I don't know, for some reason it kind of clicks with you, Like like I'm not saying that games now drags you into the game, but of course, like a lot of games, you're just like, I've seen this game before, or like, oh, there's a different version of this game. But a lot of the Nintendo 64 games were like original, like Donkey Kong. You don't see many Donkey Kong games or Diddy Kong Racing. You have your different versions, but yeah, if I could tear through the catalog or the car game I was mentioning, if I could tear through the catalog, I would definitely go back and do the Nintendo 64 catalogs.
Man,
that would definitely...
the Switch would. Do you have a Switch, by the way?
No, but my family does. So I played the Switch before. Yes, but okay. I heard like they're trying to implement something like the Xbox, like bringing back the old games from Nintendo. Mm-hmm. I heard.
Yeah, they've been doing some of that stuff through like streaming and whatnot, and it's been a real hit and miss from what I heard. But man, if they would bring like a native option to be able to play like a newer version, or even like an old but like prettied up, like brought to today's standards, kind of, or at least 60 like FPS. It'd be really nice to see like a Diddy Kong Racing come back. Yeah, that would be super dope. Conker's Bad Fur Day would be another one that would be really cool to see. And of course, I gotta say Chef's Love Shack, because that's just something I love. It doesn't even need 60 FPS. Just give it to me on a new console. I played the absolute hell out of that. I love that game so damn much.
If they brought back Donkey Kong, like, I'll be the first one to purchase that game. If there's like a long line, I will stand in that line for as long as I can. If they brought that game back, I'll definitely get it. Donkey Kong, that's like my ultimate favorite game. If they like somehow remastered it, hands down, I'll buy a Switch myself and play that game.
Another game that I really wish I could see come back. I'm not sure if they made any iteration since like the 64. Maybe they did on the GameCube, but I don't think so. But it was San Francisco Rush, I believe 2049 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
That game you could do like stunt mode, where you could drive off of ramps and shoot wings out of the side of your car and do like all sorts of like backflips and different kind of tricks and stuff. And that game was so damn fun. Even on just like tutorial or training mode or something like that. It was just a blast just to sit back, throw on some music, and just do a bunch of crazy ass flips and shit with your car.
There's another game. It's not on Nintendo 64. It was during the PlayStation 2 era. Was the football game, like Blitz and Street. Yes, those were fun games. It was great because it was not your typical Madden, typical Madden, but like Blitz was fun because you can literally like hit somebody so hard and then it'll show like the X-ray frame of you like cracking bones and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool, and I thought that was funny too. and like Street was a good one too. I enjoyed those games on the PS2. So, those games.
Absolutely. Conker's Bad Fur Day would have people in their feelings. Absolutely. If they brought that game back, I mean, they'd have to bring back the raunchiness and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much they'd want to do that anymore because they could
Yeah,
get away
that
with that kind of stuff back in the day compared to now. Everything gets looked at a little bit differently. But I personally would love it. To me, I think really all they got to do is slap a rating on it and just be open about it. Yo, this is
It's
a
not for
naughty
kids.
fucking game.
Those games are fun. Like I see, like those games pulled you in because a lot of the gaming consoles weren't afraid back in the day. So they're like, hey,
no.
we're gonna put this stuff. We're gonna put what you like. Instead of beating around the bush. Those games really pulled you in. Yeah.
Shock value was part of the purchase.
Yes.
Like let's see how shocking we can make this to see how many people we could just get to quickly come and buy it and whatnot.
Yes.
And there wasn't so much internet for discourse to, happen. There was definitely internet around, people were like using MySpace and shit like that back in that time.
MySpace back.
Oh yeah, you had your own custom background with the music that turned on every time somebody went to your shit. Oh yeah, that shit was dope. But Mr. Joanne, what were you saying?
Playing that Mafia game from MySpace. Oh, those good games back in that day.
So Mr. Joanna Dark also said like Hydro Thunder, Wave Race 64, and then he threw out a GameCube game, Eternal Darkness. Have you ever had the chance to play that game?
I believe I did. I didn't really own a GameCube, but when I go to a friend's house, I got to play GameCube games and stuff like that. So I believe that game does sound familiar. Of course, it was way back in the day, so I don't quite remember it as well.
Because Eternal Darkness was kind of like a Resident Evil feeling game.
Yeah, and I love it.
It was so good. That game goes towards like $100 now to buy.
Damn.
Yeah, that game's coming up there in price. It's gonna be standing by like Silent Hill and stuff like that after a little while. Hopefully it keeps going up there in price because I got a copy of that son of a bitch. And like if it goes up crazy like Panzer or something like that, I will sell it for a couple grand. I have no problem doing that. I'll take a couple grand off of a game if some fool is willing to buy it. Sure, why not?
Yeah,
I don't care.
And people do as like. Even if they don't even play it, they keep it as collection stuff because those games, you don't hardly see those games anymore.
Yeah, there's certain games I would sell for a crazy enough price. Absolutely, because especially nowadays when you can like emulate everything. So like, if you really want to play the game, you can still play it. I don't really like I have some personal things that I like just wouldn't sell, some video games, some consoles that I absolutely would not sell. But Eternal Darkness is one of those where it's like I don't want to sell it, but if you're stupid, I will sell it.
you will find those stupid people like, hey, I'll get it, I'll buy it from you. You're like, shoots, I'll sell it for you.
Man, Mr. Joanna Dark is you got a nice little piece of treasure right there. He said he has Panzer Dragoon Saga sealed still.
Hey,
so, that thing is worth. I think that's worth a couple grand or something like that. Like to be real, I'm not sure exactly. I could be talking out of my ass, but I know those games are just outrageously priced.
Yes.
But let's go on ahead and move forward. I'm kind of curious now, like what would be your most like favorite or most important moment for you throughout the time that you've ever gamed? Like, do you have a special moment that you like will never forget because of gaming?
Because of gaming, like as I'm playing games, or because of gaming?
Because of gaming.
Because of gaming. Okay. So because of gaming, me and my brother actually found one of our best friends. Like I was telling you, I played with people for years without knowing who they were. And because of gaming, it was so funny how we actually met him in person. So we were at a carnival at home, and we were just with one of our friends, and we're standing in line to get tickets. And I guess the friend that we knew actually knew the person that we used to play with on the gaming for years. And so our friend was like saying hi to him and stuff like that. And he said he said the name Shiloh, but me and my brother perceived it as Shadow. I was like, oh, cool, that's a cool name, Shadow. And my friend's like, hey, just introducing you guys. This is Shiloh. And we're like, Shiloh? That sounds so familiar. And then so we're talking with Shiloh, and he's like, oh, yeah, I play Xbox. I was like, sweet, we play Xbox too. Maybe we can play together. And he's like, yeah, like hey, let's give gamer tag. Oh, yeah. He's like, hey, my gamer tag is Tourist Pancake. And me and my brother were like, Tourist Pancake? We played with a guy named Tourist Pancake. He's like, what is your gamer tag? And back then, me and my brother was like, our gamer tag is New Hope Boy. And he was like, JJ and Daniel? I was like, Shiloh? And he's like, no. We were playing with each other the whole time. And we finally meet each other. And I felt so bad because the guy that introduced us was non-existent. Like, he was not even there anymore. So it was like seeing like your best friend for the first time for many years. And we're like, Shiloh? He's like, JJ and Daniel? And from there it took off. Like, we left the person that introduced us, and we just like hung out. Like that guy was like
curved.
He got curved. Yes, it was so funny. I felt so bad, but it just felt so right. So yeah, but from there, like, we're still best friends.
No regrets.
Yeah, no regrets. Like, we're still best friends today. My brother is gonna get married next year in August, and he's part of our groomsmen. Like,
wow.
It was the best. And then I have another friend that we met, same exact way, but I actually went to his daughter's first birthday, and that's how I met him. One of my friends like, hey, I'm going to a birthday party, and that's how I met one of my friends, Wolf. He's an Xbox guy. He lives in Las Vegas now, but that's how we met. Like, that's why I love gaming, because I meet people who I played for years, not knowing who they are, and actually meet them in real life and like hit it off. It's fun. It's great. So that's one of my most and memorable moment of gaming, what gaming has done for me, and the funniest, because I felt so bad for the guy that introduced us, but it felt so right. I was like, I'm sorry, dude, but we're just gonna go this way. Don't bother us. Now you're the third wheel of this whole thing. Like, we were meant to hang out, but this is your fault for introducing us to, our soulmate. But so
that's
it was
fire. That's a really cool story, man. I mean, it's pretty amazing that something as I don't know if you want to call it small, but something that you do when you got downtime and whatnot, and you're chilling and you're gaming and whatnot. You just so happen to meet somebody online, and then little do you know, they're in the same city as you.
Yes.
And they're only a few handshakes away from knowing who you exactly are.
Yeah. So the way that we met on Xbox, it was Word at War on Xbox, and I don't. Word at War, there used to be like a big clan called Dogs, and we used to be on the same clan. It was a pretty big clan in Hawaii. Like, a lot of Hawaii people were on that clan. It was called Dogs, from Maui, Big Island. Everybody, it was pretty big. So that's how we met Shiloh, through that, and then we just ended up playing like Halo and different games with him, and then we finally met him. And this was years. We played with Shiloh, Tourist Pancake, for years before we actually met him. So it was great to finally meet him and stuff like that. So yeah, that was my most memorable gaming moment that will definitely will be there forever.
That's a fantastic story, man. Yeah. I mean, there's stories like that everywhere, but I mean,
Yeah.
it always means a lot when you have your own. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's really cool. Very cool stuff. So now we're getting down to like the bottom half of the questions. I'm kind of curious that, and these are some questions I usually like to ask anybody that comes on the show. But what would you say were the best 3 games that you've played this past year, and which one of them is the best?
Okay, so the past year, one of them for me, because I love that franchise, was definitely Dying Light. Dying Light 2. I played Dying Light 1, absolutely loved it. And Dying Light 2, of course, the first one was a little bit better, but Dying Light 2 did not disappoint. I absolutely loved that game, you know. And of course, I loved Halo, you know. That was one of my games, because Halo brings back a lot of memories, you know. So playing that game brought memories, but it was also a really great game, you know. So Dying Light 2 would probably be my best. Halo will definitely be the second, and then the third one, that's a little bit hard one. Not entirely sure as much because of this year, because I wanted to say a game. I don't know if this actually counts. But it'll probably be one of the Assassin's Creed games, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I love the franchise of that as well.
So you like Valhalla?
Oh, I like Valhalla. I love the Assassin's Creed. I know I heard a lot of bad stuff about it, but I don't know. I enjoyed it. I loved it. You know, for my personal gameplay, I loved it. You know, the Spartan one was, of course, a little bit better. I love the Spartan one. But Valhalla was good. If we're talking about games this year, yeah, Valhalla was one of my tops. So I loved it. I know people are like, really? You love that game? Yes, I love that game. Don't hate.
Yeah, because I was on the brink of hating.
Yes, I understand. Even my friends were like, you like that game? I was like, yes, don't hate. I love that game. I love the Assassin's Creed franchise. But my ultimate favorite Assassin's Creed game will probably be the Brotherhood. Nobody can match that game in the Assassin's Creed line. I love Brotherhood. But yes, those will probably be my top 3. But definitely Dying Light was the game I was waiting for. I even talked about it on Talk Story podcast. But it didn't disappoint. I definitely loved Dying Light 2.
What about it?
It's just the feel of the game, just trying to survive, and the parkour and the storyline kind of grabs you, you know. The game mechanics is a lot different from a lot of different games.
Yes.
From different
Even
gadgets. Yeah, the different gadgets and how to survive, and people in certain other zombie games, you know, they'll run around, shoot the zombies to survive. But this one, there's no guns actually in this one. There's absolutely no guns. So you cannot I'm gonna get OP and just run around the map, be easy, kill a whole bunch of zombies. No, you can't do that. Of course, you can get your weapons strong enough, but you actually have to use the gadgets that they implemented in the game to actually survive and to actually get into certain areas. Of course, there was a little exploit of the game where people got the broomstick and they flew everywhere, but Dying Light 2 saw that quickly, hey, you guys can keep the broomstick, but if you try to land with it, you're gonna die. So, but I love it. It's just the gameplay. The zombies are scary as heck. The jump scares are great. I jumped out of my seat for some of them.
Yeah, me too. That game has this ambiance that really it makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it makes you you're at the edge of your seat, but you want to sit back, but you can't. Especially when
Yeah.
you're parkouring, like you kind of got to be like, you can't just be like laid back and you're like lazy boy, like parkouring.
Yeah.
You got to be into it. There is one time specifically that I remember that I was like, I was just parkouring everywhere, and then I walked into this building, or I walked into this what looked like an apartment building or whatnot. It was pitch black when I walked in, and like I turned on like a light, and there was a zombie like right in my face, and I yelled at my TV screen, but all you could see on my gameplay is that I walked in the room, did a 180, and walked right the fuck back out of it. And every time I see, like, cause I have gameplay that just shows on during my shows. Every once in a while I bring back some of the older gameplay, and I will see that clip and I'll be like, don't go in there. Oh yeah, and then I see myself do the about face and walk right the fuck out. I'm like, I remember that feeling. That was awful.
I had the same moment as you. So I was like, you go in there and you're like, oh, it's not so bad. Like, oh, there's some sleeping zombies in there. I was like, oh, I can do this easy. So I'm going in there, and there's a moment where, if you play the game, there's I guess it was like the top mutation is called a volatile.
Mm-hmm.
Things are insanely strong and insanely scary and creepy. So I was like, oh, I was doing
like zombie Vin Diesels.
Yes. And like they sound like when they're around, I'm like, what the heck is that? And so I'm like searching this like trying to open, like, you know how you unlock some of the chests and stuff.
Yeah, you gotta pick it.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it switches to a screen. The screen switches, and I get jumped on. The thing jumped on me, and I freaked out. And I screamed so loud that I feel like... I screamed so loud that I live in an apartment. The apartment people in the building, the people right next to me, knocked on my door like, are you okay? I was like, oh shit. Yeah, I'm totally fine. I was scared. I was like, I was not expecting that, because in the first one, they just chase you. They chase you, and like they have an indicator that they see you, and like, oh crap, I need to hide. They can see you. This one, there was no indicator. I don't know if it was because I was trying to get a chest or not, but you can hear. I guess the clicking was the indicator, but you don't really. There's a whole bunch of different noises in that game, so you're like, there's probably nothing. Nope. That you hear the clicking noise, you better run. Oh, I jumped. I got so scared. I was like, this is not the volatiles that you used to know in the first one. This is a whole new ball game. Oh, I had to make sure. I had to check my pants real quick just to make sure I didn't shit myself and stuff. I was so scared.
It's like, why is my ass wet?
Yeah. For a minute, you know, you have those jump scares where you just put down the controller and you're just like, wait, let me give myself to come back, because I feel like my soul just jumped out of my body for a minute. Hey, let me just come back, collect myself, and I'll jump back into this game. I had to do that because I was so scared. But yes, that was great. That was definitely a highlight on like, yep, I'm gonna definitely love this game.
All right. Well, now I wanted to ask, like, what is some genres or a genre that you don't really play? Like, if somebody hit you up on Twitter and was like, "Yo, let's run this game," you'd be like, nah.
One of the games, and I know people are like, really? I love fighting games, but I don't necessarily fuck with them. You know? I've seen too many videos and myself getting my ass kicked from somebody who knows a certain move that would just keep you up in the air, and you're just like, I'm done. Like, forget this game, you know?
You get juggled?
Unconditionally just juggle you, and you're just like, I can't even do anything. It's like, I'm not even playing this game right now. Yeah. it'll be fighting games. Like I love Injustice 2. I love the Tekken games. But if somebody's like, "Hey, let's play it," I'm like, "Can we just play something else?" Like, or like, "How about this game? This game seems a lot more fun," you know. But it'll definitely be fighting games. I don't fuck with fighting games. I don't write it off. The Injustice series I loved. I played it, but it's not something where like, "Hey, I'm gonna just go on play some Injustice and beat the shit out of people," because that's not how it usually went. And be like, "I'm gonna jump on this game. I'm gonna get beaten the shit out of." And I just can't. I absolutely was like, nope. My competitiveness would just rage. I'm like, forget it. I'm done. No, you just know this move over and over again. You're just gonna keep using it. I don't like you. I hate you. You suck. You just completely destroyed my dreams for these games. I'm not gonna play this anymore.
Right,
yeah.
and it's hard to tell somebody not to do something that they know, because it's just like in the back of your head, you know you couldn't really beat them.
Yes.
They just aren't using that move anymore, so it makes you feel comfortable to play. So you kind of feel like, yeah, I won, but like you're almost like the little kid that won versus daddy, because daddy was taking it easy on you.
Like, yeah, I don't.
That's not a good feeling to have when you're playing a game.
And I'm a person. So like if I getting spammed with moves, I get so mad. Just like, I hate you so much. But
Now,
yeah.
No, continue.
Yeah, I said fighting games I don't fuck with. Like I'll play it once in a great while, but like it's not something I'll be like, yay, or like the new game's coming out, yay. No, I won't get
Gotcha. All right, so what would you say would be like your favorite studio of all time, like, you know, publisher or developer, or and what game best represents it?
I know they don't make enough. Like, I know like their time was mostly Halo, but I mostly, as I was growing up, I mostly played Bungie games. They were my favorite because of Halo and stuff. And people will probably be like, really? The Ubisoft, because I love the Assassin's Creed storyline. So those are the two companies that I love playing their games. I know people will have different mixed feelings, but those were my favorite games. One, because of the community, because I played with a whole bunch of friends, and Ubisoft just had like Assassin's Creed where I can play by myself. You know, I don't necessarily play a lot of solo games because I'm like multiplayer. You know, my friends want to play, but Ubisoft really got me into those, you know, solo games of playing the different Assassin's Creed games. No matter how bad they were, no matter like if they were hated, I enjoyed them. And I liked when Ubisoft came out with those games, even though it changed over the years, I still enjoyed them, you know? So yeah, it would definitely be Ubisoft franchise. I love them. I know mixed feelings. People are like, there's so many different companies out there that made better games. Yes, I understand. But for me personally, that would probably be it.
Gotcha. Here's kind of a off question. If they were to make, if Sony were to come and purchase Ubisoft, would that make you want to run out and go get a PlayStation?
Not necessarily. For one, I would see like they're gonna buy Sony. I want to see how well they will do if they made an Assassin's Creed game. You know, Sony made an Assassin's Creed game.
Well, I mean, they got Ghost of Tsushima. That's
that is true.
Close as you get to it.
Oh, okay. If you put it that way, I'll consider it. I'll be like, okay, Sony bought Ubisoft. I'll buy a PlayStation so I can play those games. Because I know a lot of PlayStation games that like to be exclusive. I don't know why. I get it. They make great games. Like, hey, we're going to just make a PlayStation. So I know most of the games, if they came out with, they bought it and they made certain games that know will be exclusive, I'll definitely buy a PlayStation. Yes. So.
Gotcha. What would be a must get for that? like for PlayStation? What would have to happen for you to be like, you know what? I'm done with Xbox. I'm rocking with PlayStation now. What would that look like?
That
Would it be more or less the people that you know going over, or would it be a certain game?
If I know there's a certain game, like if it really wanted me, of course it'd be the people. But if we're talking about games and like, like if we're talking about solo games, like, hey, I'm gonna buy a PlayStation right now. Actually, there's not that many. But if they were like, hey, we can make any game in the world, and it'll bring me over, like any game, no matter what company it is, probably be Donkey Kong. If Sony is like, hey, we're gonna make a Donkey Kong game,
That's impossible.
Exactly. Like if they were making a Donkey Kong game, I'll jump over. But for me, I think I'll just stick with Xbox. There's not too many things that are like, oh, I'm gonna jump over to PlayStation. I think I'm like an Xbox person. Not because of the community. I guess it's just the way. I guess I know Sony's great. I'm not saying it's not, but the way that Xbox presents itself, I love it, and it kept me on Xbox for years. You know, there's amazing games for PlayStation. There's different. Like at one point, the console was better. I will say that the console was better for many years for PlayStation, but it did not turn me away. I love the way how Xbox just presents itself, the way that the multiplayer works, the way that like you can interact with people. I love it. There's not too many things that could sway me to the PlayStation side. So
I see that. The only way to get you game wise is to bring Donkey Kong over, and that's just not gonna happen ever.
That's not gonna happen
ever.
That's not gonna happen. Sorry,
I mean, I understand nothing's impossible. Like, you know, we're looking at Xbox possibly owning Crash Bandicoot, right?
Yeah,
which was the face of PlayStation for a while,
yes.
Right? That was what PlayStation used as their mascot versus like Mario and stuff like that back in the day. And now that's Xbox, but I just don't see a world where Nintendo's just like, you know what, you can have it.
Here's Donkey Kong.
I don't see that price. But moving forward, we got a couple more questions before we end the stream because we're getting close to that 2-hour mark. But if you were to take and revive 2 games of any time period, what 2 games would you bring back to now? With the whole quality and everything like top notch, like pretty as hell.
I said this game before. I really love Sly Cooper. Sly Cooper was like, I don't know, the feeling of being a thief and stuff and actually like stealing from people and all that. I really loved that game. If I could bring it back, you can't find it anywhere. Like I tried to, but you cannot. I would like if somebody remastered it and like putting in this generation and making the specs look nice. Oh yeah, I'd love it. You know.
Well, that would be a PlayStation right there. You saying you'd buy it because of that?
That is true. I could. I definitely could. If they switch over, I'll buy a console for it, but it wouldn't make me like I'm done with Xbox. But yeah, I'll definitely play it. Sly Cooper if they had that.
Okay, and then a second game.
Second game. If they remat, I guess they kind of did, but not really. Would be like I guess they did sort of have something like that. Would be Call of Duty World at War, like something like that. That game was really good, and that's the game that actually got me into Call of Duty. If it wasn't for that game, I probably wouldn't play Call of Duty. Like that game actually really caught my eye on like a lot of things. But if they remastered that, I know they had that new Call of Duty one with the whole World War II one, but it wasn't the same.
Vanguard.
Yeah, it wasn't the same. I love the war.
I felt like they kind of like toe dipped.
Yeah,
that one a little bit because it was like it's a little World War II, but it's not.
Yes,
and then got a little bit of future aspect, but it's not, and it's just like it just was like a confusing game, especially for Call of Duty standards. Like it'd be different if it was like under the umbrella of like a Titanfall or something like that, where obviously weird things are happening in that game. You're running on walls and stuff like that. I could see like a retro Titanfall with like World War II kind of guns and stuff like that. But as for Call of Duty, when you think of when you're playing that game, you feel like you're in that specific time period, right? So World War II, and you get that same feel with like with Battlefield as well. So like Battlefield 1, you really kind of understand where you're at with that one. The Battlefield like World War One kind of thing or whatever that they had was easy to tell. But when you kind of mix the two, where it's like we got jets, but World War II guns, and stuff like that, it's just kind of like, what the fuck is going on again? World at War was well done. Like it captivated you in the game. You were captured. Like even the characters in the game, like you would. Like some of the games now, you see a certain character and then they'll disappear. Maybe they'll come back later in the game. But for World War for the World at War, you're like in the game. You're with those characters for multiple missions. And then if something happened to one of them, you're just like, no. Like you're like, hey, that was like my friend in the game, Like even though he's like NPC, like he was doing his own thing, like you had a connection somehow. Like there's one point where your lieutenant dies or something, and because of there was like you're fighting the Japanese and somehow he gets hit. Like you're devastated. You're like, wow, he actually died. You think he will go through the whole game surviving, but it was just well done. If they brought like a remastered version of that, oh man, I would play it. That was a good one. Fantastic.
That was a good one.
All right, so. What frustrates you within gaming, if anything at all? Like, what's something that like irritates you? So it can be within the video games itself, or it can be, outside the video game, like social media and stuff like that, or whatever. You don't like games coming out not done. Whatever you want to say, like. What's something that SpeedAngel just really just kind of it's a little irritating for you?
I think when a company hypes a game and it like they hype it so much, like, oh, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get that, like we're gonna bring this in, and it doesn't live up to the hype. Like they say all this stuff and it's like it's not well done. You know what I mean? What game was that I was actually interested in coming out? But it was
Cyberpunk?
Cyberpunk was one of them. There was another one that they're hyping up so much, and it dropped the ball. That was just like, really? Wow.
Crossfire X?
No, you're like in this bio or something that you're like in this biosuit.
It was like Extraction.
Shoot!
Rainbow
what was
Six
that?
Extraction?
Something like that. I forget what it was called, but yeah, Cyberpunk was one of them. I was actually excited for Cyberpunk because it gave me like I know it wasn't really a GTA, but it gave me like a GTA vibe. Like, ooh, like this looks really good. And I was very disappointed. I was upset. I was like, really? That all you had? Like, you hype this game so much. You say like, hey, you can get this, you can get this, and you get the bare minimum. It's like, wow. Like, what happened to all that stuff that you mentioned? Like, this game was gonna have. And it didn't have, So that's what frustrates me. Like, if you're gonna hype something out, even if it's a bad game, like at least give what you promised, So that's what frustrates me so much. It's like they don't give what they promise, and they hype it up so much, and you're like, oh, okay. Like, hey, where's that 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 object or that thing that you promised? Like, that we're gonna get? Like, where is it? I don't see it at all in the game. It doesn't even exist. So yeah, that's what frustrates me.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I could see that, and there is a lot of people that were frustrated about that game because for years they told you what it was going to have, and then you got it, and it came out kind of rough, to say the
Yes.
least. So it was like not only a slap in the face, but you slapped me and the homie in the face.
Yeah.
Like we're both feeling it right now, and neither one of
Yes.
us like it. The game to me ended up being pretty good, especially when they came out with the Series S and X version. I ended up playing that on my Series X, and it ran fine. It looked really good and everything like
That's
that,
good.
but
Yeah.
but I could totally see your point of view of like, man, like you told me there was gonna be like, air tram, like where you could,
Yeah.
get into, something and take me to the other side of the city and stuff like that. And like I know you can fast travel in the game, but some of those little things that is implemented into the game bring that aesthetic out and bring out that like really cool like wow, I couldn't wait to do this, and look, I'm doing it now kind of thing,
Yeah.
instead of now where it's like, well, I thought I could do it, but that was just a pipe dream.
That's why I was a little bit worried about Dying Light 2 because it was years past when they made the newest one, and they're promising things and stuff like that. I was like, oof, okay, let's see how this goes. But when you actually go into it, it was buggy at first, but I don't know, the bugs didn't really bother me because the things that you saw when they hyped it up, you saw in the game. So you're like, oh, so it's there. They didn't lie about it. They promised this, you got it. There's little kinks in there, like, oh, okay, like little freezes here and there, but it didn't bother me. I was happy, like, wow, they actually gave what they promised and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, this is good. I love playing this game. They actually promised what they had, showing us. They presented what they are like. Hey, this is what we're presenting, and we're gonna give it to you.
Yep, because I remember they were actually in developmental trouble too, as well for a little bit. So yeah, I could see your like uncertainty and frustration with like, is this game gonna come out like it said it would? Because y'all over there looking like you need some extra money to get this get this game off.
Help.
Actually, yeah, you need some milk. You need some milk. But but on the flip side of this question, I always ask, what would be a dream come true to you?
A dream come true.
Wow.
In gaming. Dream come true. That is a hard one. Because I'm a gamer that's like if a new game comes out, like I expect it. Like I'm not looking for like, oh, like I'm not picky. There's a lot of people like, oh, there wasn't this little thing in there, there was this little thing in there. So when you're saying like a dream come true, I guess in a way Xbox is kind of doing it, and like Nintendo's trying to do it, like bringing back the old game, like the very old game, like Xbox 360 games. Like you can pick from those games, like some of those games that you love to play, but you can't because it's not compatible with the new system.
Ooh,
So
let me go straight to the finish line on what you're trying to say. You want all these like platforms that are out, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, to go and to bring their roots forward. And let them be playable, like all the games that you, at least all the first party games.
Yes,
like it doesn't have to be like it'd be nice to get like the old school like Need for Speed and like Midnight Clubs and stuff like that. But if we could get like at least a start on first party stuff, just to kind of show these third party publishers, there are still a lot of people that want to play these games. You guys should follow suit. That's what you're looking for.
Yes, that would be a dream come true because there's a game that I used to love playing. It was a Lord of the Rings I guess it was a strategy game, not necessarily like XCOM, but like you build your base up and like you upgrade your troops and stuff, and you go into battle and stuff like that. There was a game on Xbox 360. There was different versions on it, but you only can play it for PC. But Xbox 360 had a version of it. I loved playing that game, and now you can't play, you can't, Xbox doesn't even have it. Like you can't play it. Like you can see it, but it says, "Oh, it's unavailable," you know. And you only can play it if you buy it like on PC, which I don't have a PC, but I was like, hey, I'm gonna buy all the versions for PC, so I have the games for it, but it's only for PC. And like that's what I mean. Like it would be a dream come true if we can play the old games, because I would love to play that old game on my Xbox. You know, something like, okay, I don't want to be sweaty, you know, or I don't want to play multiplayer. I just want something by myself. Like some of those old games will do it for me. Like I can play by myself. I can relax. You know, my friends are like doing their own thing. I can just chill. Like some of the old games will do that. If they bring back the roots, like even in different consoles like PlayStation, Nintendo, they bring back the roots. Oh, that'll be a dream come true. I would love that.
That would be fantastic. I can attest to that.
Yes.
All right, sweet. So that was a great podcast, my guy. The last thing I got to ask you is, do you happen to have any questions for me at all?
For you, no. You've been amazing. You've been straightforward. Like the questions are great. You know, I love watching you. You know, I love your podcast as well. I'm glad we met. I think we met on Talk Story. So hey, there was no questions. I loved it. It was an honor being on your podcast. Thank you so much, Ham Solo. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely, my man. Absolutely. So the very last thing I'm going to have you do before I do my outro and have you do your outro and whatnot is I'm going to have you just describe gaming in only 3 words.
3 words. In 3 words, in gaming, I would just say, just love it. That's what I'm going to say. Just love it. You know, no matter how it is, just love it. Because, you know, you're going to grow up. Just love it. It's something that brings back childhood and it brings back a whole bunch of memories. Just love it. That's what I'll say. Just
all right,
love it.
just love it. Nice, simple, and well put together right there. I appreciate that. Well, SpeedAngel, I appreciate you being on the show. It was a fantastic time. You're a really good person to talk to and whatnot, and you represent a dope crew that is the Talk Story crew. Please go on ahead and let everybody know as we get out of here, you know, where they can find you, where they can watch your content and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm not a big streamer, but I love to stream. I love to give people content. If you want to find me, I stream on Twitch along with Kai Bergs as well, and Sensei guys. But it's SpeedAngel 808. You can find me on Twitch. I stream usually at night because, you know, Hawaii. I'm on Hawaii time. As Ham Solo said, the demon time. But hey, to us, that's God time. But yes, you can find me there. Hey, follow, subscribe, talk. You guys want to do that? I love just streaming for you guys and just giving you content. So that's where you can find me most of the time on Xbox. So,
and you can also find his information in the description as well. So if you want a quick way just to go to his channel on Twitch and whatnot, it's in the description below. His Twitter handle is also in the description below. So you guys can definitely holler at him and find him there. If you either want him on one of your shows, or if you want to, you know, pick out a game for him to play, or if you want to get down with him on a certain game, holler at him there. But as for me, Ham Solo 05 Gaming, you can find me here every Tuesday and Thursday and Friday, doing 2 different shows, Behind Them Sticks Tuesday and Thursday. Today, obviously, we had SpeedAngel 808, and then this Thursday I got Asa from Game On Daily coming on. Really cool dude, really chill, seems like a damn smart individual. I can't wait to interact and talk with him and whatnot. I've definitely got to ask him some questions about how he met Gaz and whatnot, because that seems like a just a different type of duo. You got Asa, that's calm, cool, collected, pretty, quiet and very intelligent, and then you got Gaz, which he is just something. Gaz is just something, and I mean, I can tell behind the scenes, Gaz has to be a pretty smart dude. But but he's so wild and out there that I just got to know a few things. So make sure you guys come back this Thursday when I talk to him, and then make sure you come back this Friday for bullsitting with me, Loke, and Cozy Beluga, and whichever guest that he decides to invite on, because he's the one that pretty much runs that show. But I appreciate everybody for checking out the show today. Make sure you hit that like button before you leave. Subscribe if you enjoy this type of content, and I will see you on Thursday. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening. Peace out.
Peace.
Oh yeah, keep it gaming or keep it moving. Doses. Welcome to the Behind Them Sticks podcast, brought to you by TSWS Gaming.
Come and talk to me, Lennard Ray.